Hello, beautiful people. Welcome to Love Origins, where we hear people's real life stories of romantic, platonic, familial, and self love. I'm your host, Candace Spencer. This episode is part of a unique season for the podcast. For season 3, we're talking with authors and cultural commentators involved in the sharing of fictional love stories and exploring how fictional love stories impact our perspective on real life love stories and vice versa. I love to read, especially romantic fiction, and I'm a very proud Hallmarkie, someone who loves Hallmark movies, so I'm really excited to dive into this topic. Our guests for today are the Shilohs, and I'm very happy to welcome them to the podcast. So please introduce yourselves and share whatever you think is important for our listeners to know about you.
You want me to go first? My name's Glenn Shiloh. I'm married to Toni Shiloh, like everyone likes to remind me all the time. Um, the one thing I want to share is that we've been married for 20 years in June, but together 22, and it seems like literally one long day, which is a beautiful day.
Okay, awesome.
And I'm Toni Shiloh. Most people know me as the Christian romance author, but I'm also primarily known as Glenn Shiloh's wife. And we are also proud parents to two teen boys that keep us laughing.
I'm sure. Okay. So tell us about who y'all were before you met. So 22 years ago or even longer, like who were y'all before you met? What were you interested in? What were you passionate about? Kind of what was important to y'all at that time?
You want to go first?
Sure. So I was definitely the hopeless romantic, always reading love stories, watching rom coms. I I guess I kind of went through life looking for my person and wondering when I would find my person. I did this during high school when I joined the military. It was just like that, like ever present thing in the back of my mind. It might have been a little bit unhealthy fixation, but I guess that's part of being like the hopeless romantic. Like your person is out there somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
Aw. I was completely the opposite. When we first met, I had checked out on romance and all of that, bunch of bad relationships prior to meeting her. And I was like, yeah, you know what? I think I'm retiring from the love game. I was only 25, and I'm like, I'm done with this. I just sit in my room and play PlayStation or something. But we both were in the military when we met. That's who I was before I met her. I was checked out. I was the opposite of hopeless romantic.
Okay. I already really love this. So let's talk actually a little bit about the military. I grew up military, and so I'm curious about what made y'all join the military.
My turn first.
Sure.
Okay. I didn't want to go to college. I
Okay.
was schooled out. I joined my junior year in high school, took the ASVAB, and decided on the Air Force, and that was it for me.
I was kind of similar. I overloaded myself in high school, and then I had planned to go to college. I applied to a few colleges, got accepted to a couple, and then their little itemized bill started rolling in, and I was like, "Yeah, I don't think this is for me right now." So I joined the Air Force.
All right. And where are y'all from?
I'm from Texas.
Louisiana.
Okay, close by.
Hmm.
Close by. Cool. Okay. Is there any, because Tony, I know you're a Cowboys fan. Is
Yeah.
there any rivalry between your teams? Are you a Saints fan?
Yes,
Okay.
only when we play each other. We have we have to be in separate rooms when they're playing each other because if my team's winning, fine, we could be in the same room. But if her team's winning, I got to be in the bedroom and watch it.
Sounds
We even
about
been
right.
to a Cowboy Saints game.
Yeah.
Yeah?
We killed them. She wanted to leave early.
I was surrounded by Saints fans, and they were every time they made a touchdown, they were like all swarming on me, like in your face.
Oh,
I
man.
just got quieter and quieter.
That is the worst. I'm so sorry. Oh man. Was it in the Cowboy Stadium or were you at the
No, it was
Saints?
in New Orleans.
It was in
Okay.
New Orleans.
Yeah,
That's
Yeah.
even worse.
it was a good night. It was a good night.
Okay. So you all met in the military then. What was your first impression of each other? Do you remember?
You want me to say this or you want to say it?
She said first impression, so I can say my
Okay,
first
go ahead. Go
impression.
ahead. I'm sorry.
I heard about him before I met him.
Mm-hmm.
And so when I met him, it was maybe the stories were exaggerated. Like
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
he's just a regular person.
Yeah.
I thought he was a regular person, but everyone talked to him like he was not a regular person, if that makes sense. There is this like air of mystery, like, ooh, you got to meet Shiloh kind of thing. Like everybody loved him. And so like they just built this thing up. So when I met him, I guess I was expecting like this like wow, but I was like, oh, he's just like a regular guy.
Okay. It's really funny. All right. Shiloh, what was your impression of Toni?
She was adorable. Oh my God. You ever seen the movie Clueless?
Yes, I love that movie.
She was adorably clueless. Oh my God, when I first met her. So I felt that it was, once because we clicked like the second we met each other. I told a joke, she laughed, and that was it. That's all it took. And so I was like, oh, it is my duty to, clean her up and blah blah blah. But she was so adorable.
This is possibly unrelated, but are y'all Toni, you're shorter, right? You're a little bit shorter?
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
I'm way short.
Okay. Shiloh, how tall are you?
5'11",
Okay.
but
I
I'm
feel
6. I'm 6'3" in personality.
okay. That's definitely coming through. We're feeling that for sure. Okay. All right. So adorably clueless, normal person. And y'all kind of got on like gangbusters from the second you met. Was it immediately romantic or was it more like friendship and then it developed into romance?
No, it was definitely the insta love trope there.
Yeah,
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
that was all me.
How so? How so?
When we first meet, a new person comes to our base. We were in England and the UK. We
Nice.
would everybody, all the people, their peers would take them out to dinner or something. So we ended up being in the same car. I sat in the front, she sat in the back, but we sat across from each other at the table. After I told this joke, she tried to sit near me, and when dinner was over, we went back to the dorms, and she was sitting on a love seat. I'll never forget this. She's sitting on a love seat, but somebody else was sitting by her. So I'm sitting in the back stewing because I want to really be the one to sit next to her. So when that person leaves, I sit next to her, and to increase the romance between us, I kept leaning toward her and then sit back up. Oh, I'm sorry.
No,
I
no,
leave something out.
no. I just had to interrupt because anyone who loves romance knows what the lean
The
does.
lean, yes. While you were sleeping, the leaning, yes.
What he left out is on the way back from the restaurant to the dorms, he purposely squashed himself in the back seat of a two-door vehicle, and
Mhm.
that's when he started the leaning.
I had no choice in that one because the car was small, so I was kind of leaning toward her a little bit then. But
So,
yeah,
I mean, like, can anyone survive the lean? Just
she did not. She did not. I leaned on her, and I would sit up, and I'm talking about I would just get close enough to make contact, and I sit back up. After a while, she just grabbed me and pushed me down on her leg. Within 30 seconds, I fell asleep. It was. I've never experienced anything like. Remember, I had given up on love and all of that, and when we did it, I mean, fell asleep, snoring, fell asleep, just passed out. All our friends are looking at us like, "What's wrong with Shiloh?" Yeah, and we've been together ever since. First date, July 5th, is when we met, 2003.
Okay. I gotta say, y'all are my first insta love story. I don't know that I've met people in real life that have an insta love story. So this is really cool. Okay. So then what happened from there? How long were y'all dating? What was the process to getting married?
Unfortunately, because of all the bad relationships I had prior to that, I had in my mind I had put in a bunch of rules of whoever I end up with next, they have to follow these rules. One of them was we had to date for a year. We had to live together for a year before we even think about getting married. Once we got married, we had to wait a year to have kids. And when I say Miss Toni hit every marker on the anniversary, she like, next step. I mean, whew, wow, it blew by quick, but it felt like an eternity actually. So yeah, that was our thing. Those were the rules I personally had.
Okay. And Tony, what were your thoughts on his rules?
um, some of them I thought they were a little. I'm trying to think of the right word.
Just give it to them straight.
Okay, I thought they were ridiculous. But I try to put myself in his shoes because he was very candid about his dating history, the things he had been through. And even though I'd been through some things, they were not on the same level. So I really had to think about like what he'd been through and basically if he was worth it or not to, meet his rules.
Okay.
And I decided he was, even though I'm like a year, because so what he forgot to say, he was mid 20s, but I was 20 when we met.
Okay.
So to me, like year for all these things, it felt like a long time. I was like, a year? Like you want me to date a year and then you want me to do this a year? And I'm like, okay. Like I felt like I was gonna be old by the time all of these were met. Like I think about it now and I was like, girl, you were only 20, but like, when I was 20, it felt long.
Hmm. Okay. Cool. I was gonna ask like the age difference between you all. That's good. Okay, so you date a year, you live together for a year, and then you get married. Is that right? Okay. What was the proposal story?
Oh my God. Uh,
Let's see if you tell it right.
2 years, I mean, 2 weeks, I'm sorry, 2 weeks into us dating. Like this whirlwind romance. 2 weeks, I got voluntold to go to Iraq for like
Oh,
four
dang.
months. So while I'm in Iraq, we're getting attacked every day, and I'll be on the phone with her and the phone goes dead. She think, something happened to me. I have to call back, hey, I'm okay. This is what happened, blah, blah, blah. So we're talking one day. I don't know how many months it was in. And she was like, I want to tell you something, but I don't know how to say it. And I'm like, oh, Tony, it's okay. I love you too. That was the beginning of the end for us. When she said, when in her head, when she said that and I finished it for her, it opened up the door to everything else. So when I came back, we stopped in Germany. I bought an engagement ring. I didn't tell her. And then we got back, I think it was around Thanksgiving of whatever, I forget whatever year, but it was around Thanksgiving of, actually it was '03. And I proposed, and of course she said yes.
Okay, wait. When? Hold on. When did you proposed? At what point in time when y'all were dating?
In that first year,
So you,
Yeah,
so we
we
met
met.
July.
yeah.
By November, we were engaged.
So did you follow your rules?
Yeah, I had no choice. This
We
was the one for me.
we still
Okay.
we still followed the rules, but he proposed
Hmm.
that first year
Okay.
within a few months. Yeah.
Hmm.
Okay. All right. Cool. So wait. I was like, wait, what happened to the rules? Okay. So then, why follow the rules if you knew this was one for you?
For the people out there that couldn't hear it, she just said, "Thank you, thank you." There are times in life when you meet a person that's, I ain't gonna say perfect because no one's really perfect, but perfect for you. And again, keep in mind, I was very jaded before I met her, and then when I meet her, she was that I don't know how to put, is that the bright light in a dark room. You know what I mean?
Hmm.
And why would I let that go? Rules or no rules, we still had to go with the, live together, date, whatever. In those few months when I was away, that felt like a year. So I mean, technically, that was still within the rules, right?
They're your rules, so you get to decide.
We moved in together after that, and then we waited a year to get married, to officially get married. But I wasn't gonna let her get away.
Okay.
Mm-mm.
That's amazing. Okay. So okay, so you buy the ring, you move in together. So you got married a year from a proposal, or a year from dating?
Year
um,
from a year from dating because we met in July.
we were married in June.
We were married 2 years later, but in
Mm.
June.
Okay. Okay. Wow. Okay, cool. Shiloh, how'd you pop the question?
Just traditional stuff. When I remember when I came back, I get off the bus and she's like, "Oh my God," she comes running up to me, hug me. I was like, "Hey, I got something to ask you." Get on one knee, and
Okay. Okay, straight no chasing. Like that's what it is. All right, cool.
sometimes you just can't let stuff get away. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
She was my lobster, so I had to get her.
You're a lobster?
It's a Friends reference. I'm sorry.
Okay. Okay. Maybe it's the Air Force thing. I don't know. Um, all right, Tony, did you see it coming? Like, were you surprised? Were you expecting it?
Um, a little bit of column A and a little bit of column B,
Okay.
because when he was gone, we were in constant contact, email, phone calls when he could, and during an email session one time, he brought up marriage, but in my head, I was like, he's deployed, like he wasn't serious is what I was thinking. Like I was just thinking it's that he's in a danger situation. And that's kind of what you talk about, you know, when you can see how short life is. So when he came back and he had the ring and he popped the question, my first thought was like, oh, he's serious. And my second thought was like, yes, like definitely I want to marry you. So that's why I was a little surprised, but also not.
Nice. Okay, so how did y'all know? We talked about Shiloh, kind of like this is my person, like light and dark room. That's kind of like how you knew. Or if you want to elaborate more on that too as well. But Tony, how did you know that Shiloh was for you?
It was kind of one of those you just know. It
Okay.
wasn't like one specific thing. It was I don't know. It was just like a instant. Yes, this is my person. Like the one. Like sometimes you read about it or they talk about it in movies, and you're like, no, that can't be possible. But like for me, it was. I was like, this is it. And even my mom. I know my mom. I'm, you know, thousands of miles away from her in a new country. And I call her and I'm talking about this guy. And she's like, you just met this guy? Like, you want to slow down? Like, and I'm like, no, like, this is the guy. And she was like, I don't know. But yeah, no, I just knew.
Okay. And as a hopeless romantic, what did that feel like to have like insta love and to like have that kind of like fulfillment of the things you had been focused on?
It just felt like a blessing, honestly, because I dated a few frogs before that. I mean, honestly, like I did, they just weren't right. And I knew they weren't right, but I didn't always know how to express why.
Hmm.
So when I met Shiloh, it was like he got me. I could be myself. I could be the nerd. I could be the bookworm. Like I could be all of those things. And he would tease me about it, but like I could still be me and it was okay. I didn't have to shift myself so much like I felt like I used to all the time.
Yeah, that's beautiful. Okay. So, what is a challenge y'all encountered in your relationship, and what did you learn from it?
Communication for me, and it's everyone says communication is most important, and it's no doubt it's true. However, how you communicate is just as important. For us, I would tell her early on, because again, failed relationships, whatever. Hey, if there's ever anything that I'm doing that I'm not fulfilling as a husband, I need you to, let me know. And whether or not she expressed it, even sometimes when she did, instead of communicating how I felt about it or, oh, okay, cool, that's an easy fix, I would just self internalize. And that's just bad communication. So it made us kind of, not separate, but kind of pull away from each other a little bit because there was space in between us. I thought I was doing the right thing. Yeah, she told me, do X, Y, and Z. Sure, I'll fix it. But I wasn't communicating to her that I heard her and that I understand her. And when you do that, when you leave that space, people fill in. Now, I'm a firm believer that there's only two people to a relationship. And sometimes, even, family members, whoever, could have the best intentions. But I like to think that if a person is telling you you're always right in every situation, that person's bad for your relationship. No one's ever right
Hmm.
100% of the time. So, we had a few of those, but eventually, we hit a point and we came back together and was like, hey, it's me and you against the world. I'm sorry for the way I communicated. I will do better. And I did. And we've been blessed for another, what 15 years, 19, 15, 16 years.
I think we're past counting now.
Oh, I'll never forget. She told me I owe 50 as soon as we got married. You owe me 50 years. I'm like, all right.
Well, I said at least 50.
Oh, okay. I left out the least part. But that was the hardest thing for us was communication.
Okay.
But for me.
No, I agree. He was spot on about everything. And like you said, when there's that space, like you leave something fills it in. And definitely I'm the same way. I internalize. So I had no choice but to create what was happening in my own head with his lack of response. And even though I wasn't an author then when we had this, um, I still had that imagination, still had I can create a whole story of what's going on, even if it's not the truth. So I had to learn really to get out of my head, and to hear what he was saying once we started communicating better, and to not let my brain go any further. If he said X, Y, and Z, stick to X, Y, and Z, and don't, you know, catastrophize the situation.
That felt personal for me as someone who is a native catastrophizer. So I appreciate that. Definitely good advice. At what point this is in your relationship? I think Shiloh, if you're doing the math, you're saying around like 5 or 7 years in. This is kind of the issue.
Four.
4. Okay.
Four. Mm-hmm.
Okay. Oh. And so had it been building, and y'all that was kind of like a point, and then you grew from that, or had it been like a kind of how did you get to the communication issue?
I think it had been building. I'm a natural. I used to be a natural avoidance. If it felt like conflict, I didn't want to bring it up.
Okay.
But like I said, like once it starts building, you get to a point where like, okay, I have to say something. And if I said something and I got nothing in return, then my brain's like, okay, now let's go spiral down a deep rabbit hole of what's actually happening, even if it wasn't actually happening. And so, yeah, for me, it was definitely building to it.
Ditto. I don't want your listeners to get the impression that we fought because we really didn't. We don't yell, we don't scream. Even early on as young people, we wouldn't do that because I believe when two people yelling at each other, nobody's listening. So I try to impart that on her, even though she was younger than me. And like she said, she would internalize. She wouldn't yell. She wouldn't be like, "Oh, this is making me mad." She'll try to tell me, then she'll think whatever. Because I guess she said I put a mask on, so she doesn't know what I'm thinking based on my face, and I'm trying to appear to be listening to her. So she was like, "Oh my God, he's mad. He's just." And she'll just cut it off and don't say it. And if
Mm.
she does say it, and I reply back like, "Okay, that's it," then it started to create a gap that both could fill, but we didn't know how to, get out of it. We had to hit a certain point to where we're like, you know what, this ain't it. Let's come
Yeah.
back together, and yeah, it's been easy relatively since then.
Nice. Yeah, I feel like people think yelling is the only problem, but silence can be just as bad if you're not
Yeah.
like it's not a comfortable silence of understanding of like communication of like we know we're good because we have talked about it. So
Hmm.
yeah. Okay, what are some of your favorite moments from your love story?
You want to go first?
Sure. I will say Disney.
Yeah.
I think together we've been to Disney like 6 times.
Okay.
Um, it was like our first trip together was to Disney World. Um, and for me, it was like, it sounds cliche, but it was really magical. The resort was amazing. Going to Disney, you can laugh all
I'm
you want.
sorry. I'm sorry.
But like, it was like I had that like all wonder experience of it all. And then we would go again with other people, like with friends. We've taken our kids, and like each time we go, I just feel like that same like magic of the first time, and it feels like it's our thing, even though there are thousands of other people at Disney. It still feels like it's just us.
I love that. I'm a native Floridian, so I love when people like love Disney. So it's
Mm.
like, yeah, I grew up going, and it's really fun every time.
For me, it's been even some of the negative stuff that's happened. It's been our whole togetherness. Like when she laughs, I mean, truly like a Tony laugh, as my kids call it. Oh my God, it's magical. It really is. And there's been times where she laugh at situations that most people wouldn't, but it still touched my soul to hear her laugh. Uh, One example is we're walking home. We're walking from I think it was a safety briefing or something. We're in the military and we're in Georgia, and I was eating a blow pop, and she's like, "You need to take that blow pop out of your mouth, or you fall and choke." As soon as she said that, right on cue, I step in a hole, and I'm falling in slow motion, like, "No, I'm going to choke." So I turn my head, I hit the ground, boom, and I hear her laughing. Oh my God, I couldn't even be upset with her. I was like, "Oh, I have made her laugh. I have accomplished my mission for the day." I was hurt. I twisted my ankle. I get up, and she's like, "Oh my God, are you okay?" But she is in tears laughing. So it made it all right. But I mean, thousands of memories similar to that where she just bursts out laughing, and I just fall in love with her even more. What is so funny, Miss Candace?
Because it's the like,
It's that instant. I said it and it
yes,
happened.
it's the timing of it happening right after she said it.
That's exactly why I laugh like that, just like you're laughing.
Yeah,
Oh my gosh, that's hysterical. Wow. I hope you were okay, but that is so
I
funny.
was, but oh my God, I was like, "What's she, a witch? Like, how did that happen?" As soon as she said, I was like, "Yeah, well, oh no!" Boom, down I went.
Oh yeah, that's really funny. Before I started laughing, I was thinking that Shiloh, you got some romantic in you. Like the way you talk about Toni and how she impacts your life and has affected you and how much you love her. It's very romantic.
I don't know. I don't know. Yeah, I'm kidding. She brought it out of me. Like I said, she was that bright light in that dark room that I was in at the time.
Nice.
How
I
could you
love
not
that.
lean into that? You know.
Yeah. I love because some men don't be leaning in. So I'm glad that you, I appreciate that you embrace the lean physically and emotionally. Yes. um, okay. Are y'all still in the military?
No, no.
Okay. Cool. Thank you for your service as well. Always appreciate
Thank you
that.
for your support.
Yeah. Okay. Let's talk about love and fiction. Toni, how did you start writing?
Um, so I after the military, I ended up going back to get my English degree. And I took some creative writing classes and I just fell in love with them and I was like, I want to do this full time. And I kind of asked God if this was something that like he thought I could do. Could I, write for him? And it was never even a question for me to write romance. Like I didn't think, oh, what genre should I? It was like I'm writing romance and it's present day and like it fits my personality like 100%.
Nice. And yet, how long had y'all been married at this point in time?
When I started writing, oh my gosh, you're gonna make me do math.
I'm sorry, I don't do math. I'm a lawyer, so I foist it upon
Nice.
other people.
Yeah, that's smart. We'd probably been married about 9 years when I started writing.
Okay. And what was the conversation when you decided you wanted to start writing? Or was there a conversation where you're just like, I want to be a writer? And Shiloh was like, cool.
Oh, I can tell you the conversation. You want to answer this though?
No,
Okay, bet. When we were in the military, we're dual income, but again, my lovely wife, she's one of those people. If you give her rules and regulations, she's on it. The 2 year, the 1 year dating, all of that. Yes. So I was like, hey, if we could maintain our lifestyle, if you create a budget to maintain our lifestyle with two incomes, with one, hey, by all means, get out. Like, wow, she created it, and as we have progressed throughout our life, um, I forgot the question.
Oh, you were tracking so well too.
I'm sorry. Repeat the question.
What was the conversation when Toni decided she wanted to become a writer?
Oh, I always knew she was creative because I mean, early on in our marriage, the she would once we got back to communicating, she would tell me about the things how she was spiraling ahead, and even if she was telling me a story, it was like this long, convoluted, all over the road kind of map thing, and then she'll get to the end, and I'm like, why didn't you just say that from the beginning? When she started when she started writing, I was like, you know what? I think you'll be great at it if you stick to what God is leading you to do. you stay along that path. You don't do it for money. You do it to reach others. You'll be fantastic at it. And because of that, I had to tell her, I want you to reinvest into yourself. So any money you make from selling your books is just for you. I'll do all the bills, but I need you to reinvest in yourself, because the more you can do that, the more people you can reach with your book ministry. So the conversation was easy for me. We had already been living on a lifestyle because of her budgeting skills, which is amazing. So for her to write, I thought it was beautiful. It puts in the work something she loved to do, romance, and as well as her imagination.
Okay. So let's see, Tony. So then you have your English degree. You decide you want to do romance, and then how did you actually get started writing your first story?
So I made a goal because I knew if I didn't, I probably wouldn't finish a story. Because, in college, it's real easy. They're like, write a short story, but you never finish anything. So I had all these short stories that people who had read them were like, turn it into a bigger story. And I was like, I don't think those are it. Like, those are just assignments. Like, I need to like sit down and have a goal. So I made a short goal. My goal was to write a novella because I was like, it's easier than a full length. Maybe I can actually do it. So while my youngest had quiet time, I would write because he told me at 3 he was not going to take a nap. So and he was right. He refused to take. So I invented quiet time. Well, I thought I invented it, but I was like, you gotta do something quiet.
Mm-hmm.
Be in your room, read a book, chill, whatever, for at least an hour. And it was like clockwork. Like he would peek out an hour later and be like, quiet time's over, kind of thing. And that's when my writing session was over.
Okay, so at this point, y'all are already parents.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you said your youngest or your oldest? Had you had
My
both your kids by
youngest,
then? Sorry.
my youngest.
Okay, so you had both your kids by this time. Okay, awesome. Okay, so I'm just getting the timeline. So you gotten out. Shiloh's working. You're a mom. You got your English degree, and you're going for a novella for writing. Okay, what was your first novella?
It was called A Life to Live.
Okay, did it go? Did it get published? What did you end up doing with it?
I ended up indie publishing it.
Nice. Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, and I actually want to back up a little bit because you both have mentioned faith and writing for the Lord. Did you all grow up in a Christian household, or how did you come to faith?
You go first.
So I had an interesting faith journey. I got saved when I was 9 years old. And it was really amazing because I was in children's church and my mom obviously was in regular church. And when we came out, she was like, how was church? And I was like, I got saved. And she was like, so did I.
Hey,
We got saved at the same time.
that's
Um,
awesome.
it was really amazing. And then um, my grandma is a pastor, so she also influenced some of my faith journey. And then it was kind of like, in and out through my teen years. And then after our communication hiccup, I was all in. That was part of the reason why we had a turning point. I was like, I need to just focus on the Lord, um, read my Bible, discover what it says, discover what God wants for me, stop listening to outside voices, stop listening to my own inner voice. Like I just I just wanted better. Um, so from that point, I was like iron focused. So that's why writing Christian romance wasn't a question. Like I knew I wanted to write to glorify God. I knew I wanted to put like people's struggles into stories so that we can all learn from them and see how God moves in them. Like all of it lined up. Like once I lined up with God, everything else lined up.
Nice.
Mine isn't as awesome as that. I grew up Southern Baptist. You had to go to church.
Yeah. Yeah.
Sunday school, vacation Bible school. youth revivals, everything you could think of. I was there. So when I joined the military, I'm like, nope, done with that. But life is, what they say, God doesn't come on your time, but He's always on time.
Mm-hmm.
When I ran into her, that was my life. That's what I needed. And she, I ain't gonna say she led me back to church, but she helped me get back into it because she's a great example of a faith based person. And then, like she said, when we had our hiccup, she showed me what God was
Mm-hmm.
by the work she did to make us better as a relationship. So I mean, how could I turn away from something like that? So it's been great ever since. Don't cry. It's okay. It's okay. We can't see you anyway, so don't no. But so church has been a huge part of my life, thankfully.
That's awesome. Okay, so speaking of growing up, what kind of love stories did you all grow up with? Either real ones you saw and like with the people around you, or like fictional ones and entertainment, and which ones had the biggest impression on you?
Love stories, that's what we call them. Because no, I didn't have like my whole life is built around doing the opposite of what I saw and experienced as a kid. And that's so my love story is it started on July 5th, 2003. Honestly, because
Okay.
before that, the only thing I can think of that would remotely be considered like a love story is like how Stella got her groove back, and my aunt gave me that book as a teenager. That's bad. The book, that's bad.
Yes, it
You
is.
know what I mean? So that's when my love story started. So I didn't really do a lot of love stories as a young person.
Okay.
Hmm.
So on Love Origin, to talk about other kinds of love as well. Did you see like family connections, or did you have like good friends growing up that were also an example of like what it meant to connect with people?
No, in a simple word, no.
Okay.
Uh, she said it earlier, and I had to come to grips with it. She said earlier how people would talk about me and Shiloh this and Shiloh that. I had to be people's emotional baggage carrier
Mm,
my whole life. So if it's negative, positive, I'm the person they come talk to because I can empathize with how people. I can feel other people's hurt and pain. So I
mm,
try to take it away from them to alleviate my own.
mm,
So love stories and great relationships wasn't a real thing for
mm.
me. But I would try to be the best of friend I could possibly be to a person. If you're hurting, talk to me. We'll work it out, cry on my shoulder, whatever. Now you go away feeling better, but now I feel bad. So
Yeah.
until I met this one, I didn't know what that was. I didn't know about good connection relationship. I didn't know about uh, being able to have a person to talk to and to confide in and have them respond positively to you. I didn't know what that was like. I was always the one that got the worst part of people and then gave out the good. So
Mm.
I don't know. It wasn't a real love story for me.
Yeah, that's hard. That is hard.
Sorry, I changed the mood.
No, no, no. I appreciate you sharing that. Thank you for your honesty. I appreciate that. Tony, what
Um,
was your experience?
my love stories came from books. Um, Probably no surprise to anyone. I was a huge reader. Like I would spend my summers getting a stack of books from the library, reading them in a couple of days, and going back for more. Like so, my love stories are like Anne and Gil, and
Yes. Ah, yes.
Nancy and Frank, and like if it was a love story, I probably read it and probably cried over it. Um, like all the things.
I love that. I was telling someone else I did an interview with, like, I did a lot of, I love watching movies. So I love reading books and watching movies. So a lot of mine are like movies I saw that I had no business watching at 10 years old. But that's where a lot of my like love stories as well came from, expectations as well. Heading into
Mhm.
relationships ended up not being the best expectations to have. But yeah, I can relate to that. So then how does your own love story impact how you incorporate love into your work, Tony, and how you, Shiloh, see the love she's incorporated into her work?
That's a good question. I'm trying to think of how best to answer. I guess it just flows out of me. I feel like I'm one of those people that have an endless amount of love to give. Um, I literally, if I could, I would probably be friends with every human I've come into contact with. and make them part of the family and be like, look, I have one big family. Um, and it doesn't always work that way. Like, I have good intentions, but sometimes you don't mesh with people, or they don't want to pour into you as much as you want to pour it in them. But like with my books, like I can pour in what I believe love is, what I believe God tells us love is. And being married to someone who is a closet romantic.
Shiloh's shaking his head, but I fully believe Toni in this.
He's a cinnamon roll, and so like when you get
what?
Yes, I got it.
Yes,
Been called a lot of things, but cinnamon roll was never one. Wow.
It's a book term.
I
So like when you're married to a cinnamon roll, like it's easy to just love and pour out love and talk about love and read about love and write about love.
It's really cool. Shiloh, what do you think of how Toni includes love into her books?
I'm still waiting on her to write a book about our love story, but whatever. Sour grapes. I think she has a talent. I think personally, God has given all of us a talent, and she's leaning into hers, which makes me love the fact that she leans into it even more. Um, I watch her write, and I'm still astounded how she does it. She's a pantser, where she just sits there and just types out. It's amazing to watch.
Wait, you're a pantser?
Yeah.
You're okay. I'm not saying
Yes.
okay. That's incredible, given how well like because your books be thick too. Like you're not writing like short. You're writing like thick whole stories, and you're pantsing that. So pantsing, fun fact for everyone, is when a writer is not plotting it out like for like timeline and scene. They're just like flying by the seat of their pants, which to me is incredible because I would feel like I would get lost and forget stuff, and it'd be a mess. That's incredible.
It's incredible to watch. I've sat over her shoulder and watched her write dialogue, scenes, and I'm like, where's this coming from? So yeah, it is a beautiful thing to watch. It really is.
Okay. Also, Toni, do you know Toni Collier? Or have you heard of her?
Yes, I know that name. Oh, she's a actress, right? Or am I thinking of someone else?
I think that's Toni Childs. Is that right? I'm about to get confused. I'm not sure if that's right or not. Toni Collier is a speaker, a teacher, I think a pastor as well. And she has a podcast called Broken Crayons Still Color. But she was on a podcast recently talking about just how much she loves people, like thinking about people made in the image of God, like really just brings her to tears. And I thought of her when you said how much love you have to give. And I'm like, maybe it's a Toni thing. Like the Toni's got a lot of love to give, you know? They're out here just loving people. Okay. So, what is something about real love y'all think fiction often gets wrong?
We actually talked about this when she showed me the questions last night. For me, the one thing I think about real love fiction gets wrong is that everyone has to have a happy ending. Judging off my past, I thought happy endings weren't for me. You know what I mean? So you could be romantic, you could be involved with a person, married to somebody, whatever, and it could be the worst person for you, and it'd be the worst relationship for you. And if it ends in divorce, that's not a happy ending. You know what I mean? So for me, yeah, I think that's what some. But again, it's romance, it's fiction, so it can have a happy ending. But I think that's the one thing it doesn't get wrong. I mean, that it gets wrong is that there's always got to be a happy ending.
Do you think that the happy ending, even if it doesn't come there, it comes later? Like your relationships didn't end well, but you have your happy ending with Toni. Although
Exactly.
obviously you still have like 25 more
Yeah.
years to give her, so not at the end yet. But
So you remember the 50. See, that's
yes.
ex- exactly. In a situation like that, had I not met Toni, it would still be a happy ending for me because I'm not dealing with that person. I mean, it was bad. So I'm not in that relationship anymore. So it's all how you look at it. But I got lucky that I do get a happy ending because I met her. Now, had I stayed in a relationship, I'd have been a miserable person. I would not be the person I am today. And then, like life always ended that, I'd have just died a miserable person. That's not a happy ending. But me and that person broke up, and I was allowed to reflect on myself and, do whatever I need to do. And the love of my life fell in my lap, or I fell in hers. So
Leaned in.
yeah, I leaned in. So I guess that, yeah, maybe I'm wrong. Maybe fiction does get you right that there's always a happy ending. It's just not the one you think. I'm gonna go with that. That's yeah.
Okay.
So, for me, I think what it gets wrong is that it loves the feeling.
Mm.
Um, this is a little one of my pet peeves because you see it in movies, you see it in some fiction. They're like, oh, I fell out of love, or I don't love this person anymore. And they treat it like it's a feeling. And so it's easily discarded when they don't feel the feelings. But I believe that love is action, it's a choice. It's you choosing to put someone else's needs above your own. Um, if you're tired and cranky and you don't want to talk, but you can see that other person does, like love is choosing to talk to them and listen to them and put aside your own tiredness to pour into someone else. So if I could if I could help people see that love is a choice and you choose like the outcome of your relationships as far as you're able. It's sort of like the Bible scripture of like being peaceable as far as you're able. It's the same thing. Loving as far as you're able on your end. Um, then yeah, I think the world would be a better place.
Agreed. Okay, let's talk about fiction and Tony's work and y'all. And which couple from Tony's books do y'all think you are the most similar to? And Tony has a prolific catalog. I haven't made my way
I
through her
know.
back catalog,
Well,
so you got a lot of options to choose from too.
I'm reading that her second To Win a Prince.
Yes.
She is Iris and I am Diallo. I'm sorry. That's the way our relationship started. The way
Okay.
they do that silent flirting with each other, and she see him and she's like, "Oh my heart," blah blah blah, and he sees her like, "Oh, I can see her singing." That was the beginning of our relationship. And when I'm reading her book, I'm like, "She's talking about it." Wait a minute, that's not us. But for me,
Okay.
yeah,
I
the
could
beginning of
see
our relationship
that.
was like, right,
Yeah, based on what I know about y'all now, I can
yeah.
totally see that. Oh my gosh. Okay. Wow. Okay. So tell us what that book is about so we can have more context now that we know more about your story.
Yeah, sure. So To Win a Prince is it comes after In Search of a Prince. So in the beginning, you meet Iris, who is friend to the queen of island country, Eloro, LA. And there are some people the queen met where she was considering marriage, and Econ Diallo is one of the guys. So there's this whole forbidden aspect with Iris because she knows her best friend went out with him once. She knows he's not necessarily a good guy, um, but she can't help it. Like she felt that instant love, that instant attraction, and she's trying to ignore the heart wants what the heart wants, considering all she knows about him. And Econ has had an easy life, and then it got all stripped away. So when he's meeting Iris and working with Iris, he's learning how to be basically a regular person, not a prince. So the book. Uh, that's the book. As far as us, and you can totally tell me, you can totally edit this out, but everyone talked about Shiloh like he was this, otherworldly guy. But I also had a lot of people like warn me,
Oh
like,
yeah,
do you want to be with him?
yeah,
Like, do you know about him, his history? Like, I'm talking people we worked with, people in his family. Like, I was getting warned left and right. Um, and it was one of those, man, there's a lot of cliches in our relationships, but it was one of those, they don't know him like I know him situations. And I was like, y'all don't know, but like he's legit. Like I'm good. And I know some people were like probably upset that I didn't break up with him, but
yeah.
I,
I'm
I
Diallo, a prince who was a regular guy. It is what it is.
My goodness. So a couple questions, but also I'm glad you said the name of the country. I knew I was mispronouncing. I was actually pretty confident in my pronunciation, so I'm glad I didn't say the name of the country from the book. So now I know how to say it because I was like, oh yeah, it's this. It's not that. I was mispronouncing it completely. But I love those books. I think the In Search of a Prince, I believe, was my first book by you, and I was like, this is amazing. And then I bought the second one, I think, when I met you in person at Spark in the Park, and then have just expanded like from your back catalog and also forward with Love in the Spotlight series as well at the same time. Shiloh, you had a reputation, both good and bad, is what it sounds like. Was there any, and Toni, you mentioned to your mom had been like, you just met this dude, you sure you want to go all in? When you were like, hey, we're getting engaged, this is my person, was there any concern on with your family?
Mine?
Or Toni's?
No.
No. By the time we got engaged and my mom met him, I think she was okay by then. It was just like early on. Like I said, we were definitely an instant love trope. So she was like, "You just met him. You're talking about love. He's about to deploy. Like, kind of slow down." And I was like no, like I'm good. Like this, I know I'm good. So once she met him, she was fine.
Okay, so Toni, tell us more about your work if you would like. Actually, further that, Shiloh, what's your favorite book of Toni's?
That one.
That one?
With
Okay.
Mr. Diallo, I can't put it down. I'm reading it at work when I'm not supposed. Wait, not supposed to say that. But every chance I get, I'm cracking it open. Unfortunately, sorry, I've dog eared it because I don't lose my spot. So maybe I need a bookmark something. But yes, and to keep in mind, she wrote it pantsing like, wow.
Mm-hmm.
So it's such a great book.
So I really love that book. I wrote it in 6 weeks.
Whoa.
Wow.
I wrote it in a really hard time in our life. He had gotten laid off. We were trying to find a place to live, and we were living in a hotel. I had to ask for a grace for my deadline. And when we finally got a place to live, I was like, don't bother me. I got to turn this in, and I wrote it in 6 weeks. And it literally, like, it felt like God just like downloaded it out of my brain and onto the screen. Because I had been praying prior to, because I just didn't have the bandwidth to work on it like I should. And so I was like, Lord, like when I sit down, like please just let this story pour out, like let it glorify you, like let it be all the things you want it to be, and let me not get in the way, because as a writer, like insecurities can mess you up, like all the things. And since we had the whole, would he have a job? Would he not? Would we have a place to live? Would we not? Like, I my brain was scattered. So the fact that that book came out in 6 weeks and it is the story that it is, like, it's absolutely one of my favorites.
That is incredible. Wow. I love knowing that. That is so cool. You made a face when Shiloh said he dog eared. Are you anti dog earing pages?
Yeah, I'm
Okay.
so, and I have plenty of bookmarks to give him so he can stop.
Why are you anti dog ear? I know this is a hot topic in the book community.
It is.
Yeah, so I'm one of those people who I like a book to look just as new as it did when it came out. Um, I know some people are like, "Oh, I love seeing highlights and notes and annotations," and I'm like, "Why? Why would you do that? It's not a journal. It's a book. Like you write in a journal and you read a book. That's it."
Do you write in your Bible?
I write in a
Yeah.
journal Bible,
Yes.
journal
Yes.
Bible.
Amen.
But in a
Yes.
regular Bible, no, I don't. I don't.
Every time I see her writing her study Bible, I'm like, you're not supposed to write in that.
It's a journal Bible for a reason. It has lines to write in.
No, no. You don't write it. Okay.
That is hysterical. I feel like I'm in between on this debate. Like, I will dog ear. I have bookmarks, so I prefer to use those. But I also feel like if I love a book, having like a well-worn copy that says like I've read this over and over and over again, I think is also a sign of like it being a good book. I now have a study Bible, but before that, I was just writing the notes in the margins because I'm like, it's really good stuff, and I just want to like have it like in the Bible itself. But I have seen people who have like attachments to their Bible of all the notes. So I'm like, that's doing too much. That would kind of drive me crazy. So I feel like there's room for some light annotation in the text. Okay. Toni, tell us more kind of about your work, your writing, anything you want to share there. And let's talk about The Nature of Love, because you just recently released that and I love that book and I want to talk about it.
Okay, we can start there then if you want.
Okay, let's so actually I will ask you to describe it and then I'll gush about it and then we can talk about your process for it because I don't want to mess up the description. So
Okay, sure. So, The Nature of Love is the third book in the Love in the Spotlight series. The great thing about this series is it's a group of guy friends who have met each other, formed a friendship, and they text. So, their text is throughout each book in the series. So, The Nature of Love is the final friend, Chris, who is a wildlife conservationist and a YouTube star, and he meets a doctor named Erica Kennedy, who is all about work, no margin in her life, just work, work, work. And um, they have an instant connection, but they don't act on it because tragedy strikes in Erica's life. And so Chris shows up as a friend, like as that shoulder in need. And his kindness and his friendship basically helps her find God. And they end up with like a found family situation.
okay, thank you. Okay, so I was writing down all the things I love about this book. The male focus is my favorite because like you don't see a lot of like books written from the male perspective in Christian fiction. And their text chains are my favorite part of each book. Like that has been the part that's made me laugh the most. Like the way they roast each other like true friends, the way they're also supportive like true friends. Like it's just really like that part is just really really fun, and it makes me laugh every time. The interesting careers. Everyone has an interesting career. I feel like in this trilogy, Piper and Tuck are probably my favorite couple, but I am really intrigued by the careers of Chris and Erica. Like I don't know any orthopedic surgeons or wildlife conservationists, and so that element of their career. And I know you do a lot of like actual research into the different topics and careers, so that was really cool to learn about too. Like I didn't know anything about those. About those. Um, True friendship, like this is very much like to me it feels like found family. The guys are found family, and when their wives come in like they become friends too, and the way they support each other is really really cool. I love seeing like Erica getting to know Lamont and Nevaeh, and then Piper and Tuck, and like the girls being like, yeah, no, you're one of us now. Like that was also really cool. And then the trauma part, I haven't experienced this or know anyone who has, but it felt like a really authentic understanding of that kind of trauma, like how they would react, like how they would kind of process through that and what that would look like. The highs and the lows of that felt really authentic and not forced or too fast. And the epilogue, not because it was the end, because like seeing them grow, I was like, I read the epilogue like 3 times. I read the book, then was like, and the epilogue again and again. And it was just so cool to see them like, I think it was like 5 years later at that point, where the girls had grown up a little bit, and like you're seeing like them all together and like everyone's families. Like it was just really, really cool to see the really cool conclusion of this series.
No, I was going to say a couple of comments to what you said. The text threads were absolutely my favorite to write. I actually had to dial it back. I'm like, my editor is like, okay, a little too much texting. And I'm like, but they're funny. Like,
Funny.
can we keep them all? So I'm glad you love that as well. It's one of those things where I'm like, I'm laughing as I'm writing, and I'm like, ooh, I hope other people will laugh too, because otherwise I feel like a crazy person just laughing. Um, and yeah, again, the friendships, the found family, I think that just basically speaks to like my inner desire of, again, like wanting everyone to be friends, everyone to be loved. So I liked working that in their stories, and seeing them all to come together. In the epilogue too, I had a lot of fun writing that, and it was really bittersweet because I love these group of people, and I'm like, I don't want to say goodbye, but also like your story is done, so I have to say goodbye kind of thing. Um, yeah.
Yeah, I really enjoyed the series. Like I really have. And I will say too, the other thing is the faith element, how Erica came to faith. I was really curious. I didn't realize going into it she wasn't going to be a Christian initially, and I was like, oh, that's going to be interesting. So it doesn't feel like missionary dating or like kind of like imposing that upon her, but how she came to it felt really authentic and honest. And it wasn't a like it felt authentic to who she was as a person, how she processes the world, as far as how she came to faith as well. And that was really cool.
Thank you.
Anything else you want to share about upcoming work? I know you have a hockey romance coming out in February, my birthday month, so I'm very excited for that.
Nice.
I think you're working on Christmas work in progress as well. Anything you want to share about your work?
Yeah, so you're right. I do have a hockey romance coming out in February, Hearts on the Fly. I love this story. This one is a little bit more personal to me because, man, I don't know what it's going to say on the back of the cover. So I'm like, I don't want to give anything away. But there's something the hero goes through that someone in my family has. So research for this book was amazing for me because I got to talk to this family member, pick his brain. I even put him in my dedication. So like I love that story for that reason, but also because hockey's awesome. And I love sports, and I'm excited about that tie-in. And then you're right, I did. I just finished a first draft of a Christmas story that's going to come out next September, 2026. Um, so that's exciting. It's tentatively titled "A Parent Trap Christmas,"
Yeah.
and that's the only hint I will give you. Um, yeah.
Okay, that's exciting. Cool deal. I will say your Christmas novels and novellas, people have not read them. I think I mentioned this to you at one point. Your book started a tradition for me where I read a Christmas romance novel on Thanksgiving weekend to kick off my Christmas season. And it started with your book, You Make It Feel Like Christmas, which is also set in DC. And I was like, yo, I know these places. This is really cool. I've been here. This is awesome. So I'm really excited to read Christmas Catch. I have not read that yet. And that'll be my like read for this year, kicking off the Christmas season. And then you mentioned you love sports. I know you did football and the Christmas Catch and hockey. And then have you done the basketball one yet or no?
I'm going to do a basketball one. That one's going to come out February 2027.
Nice.
Yeah.
Okay. How do you know kind of which books are coming out? How do you plan that out?
So usually it's based off of my contract. So they usually plan a year out. So like I'll sign the contract and whatever month I turn it in, you can pretty much assume that a year from that month it'll come out as a published work. So that's how I know the basketball will come out February 2027. And then September 2027, I'll have another Christmas book that will come out. But neither of those two books, I haven't written them yet.
Okay.
I started the basketball one, but I paused it um, to write the Christmas. So I'll go back to it after I'm done looking over my hockey galleys, catching any errors in it before they get ready to put it up on that galley and all of that. So since I'm a pantser, I'm not worried about it. I write pretty fast, so I know the basketball will get finished when it's supposed to.
Nice. I love the confidence. That's incredible. Like, that's great. And then Hearts on the Fly is set in DC, right?
Yes, it is.
Yes. Okay. Looking forward to that as well. Because I just love reading books set in DC, especially like when people have been to DC or live in the area. It's not just like, oh, this is DC. And it's like, that actually does not exist in real life. But it's like, no, like I think in You Make It Feel Like Christmas, they were going to the tree lighting and they went to Old Ebbitt's Grill. And I love that restaurant. And I was like, I have been here. This is amazing. I love it. So that was really cool. Okay. Anything else you all want to share or talk about before we ask you our closing question? No? Okay. This has been great. I'm having a fabulous time. So thank you all. Our last question that we ask everyone is why do you keep choosing love?
So you want me to go first?
You go first.
Okay. For me, it's not a conscious choice. It is who she has programmed me to be. So when I mean, it sounds funny, but
It does.
it just really is what it is. When a person pours into you, you want to pour back, back out to them. So that's what I consider programming. A lot of young people now say, "Oh, let's go 50-50." I don't believe in that. I believe we go 100-100. If I put all of me into you and you put all into, life is great. You don't have to choose love date. You just live it. You know what I mean? So it's not choosing love for me. It's what she's programmed me to be.
Positive programming. Positive programming.
Positive program, yes.
I'm going to mark this podcast as a reminder that I have power.
Just play it back.
Right? No, but for me, I keep choosing love because honestly, like it's what I'm getting from God. And I want other people to see that love matters. I like to say love makes the world go round, and he laughs when I say it, but like really, like without God, like this world would stop. Um, we would stop. And so I feel like waking up every day and choosing love is honoring God. And it's again, it's like coming out of me. Like I have a lot of love to give. I haven't met my limit of people yet. Like I'm an introvert. I need to be by myself. I need that downtime. My battery drains, but I need a community. I need the love of people. I need friendships. Like all the aspects of love I want to experience and I want to pour out on people.
That's
Does that,
awesome.
does that sound like an introvert to you? What you just said?
I'm an extrovert, so I try not to judge my
Yeah.
introverts because they are very different, wired differently than me. I I don't know. I think it's interesting. I wonder if it's a innate personality thing versus a like because you're not saying I want to be around people all the time. You're saying I love people and I want I want love for people and I want the best for people. I think you can do that without wanting to be around them all the time. That's not how I process life, but I think you can have both of those things. Is what it sounds like you're saying.
So you agree with me? She's an introvert, an extrovert masquerading as an introvert. Because if
I
you met her in person, right?
I have.
Did you see how outgoing and oh my God, hey, how extroverted she behaved?
No, she did not.
What? You ought to see this woman at church. People come up to her like she's the Pope, and she just basking and like, oh my God, I haven't seen you forever. Oh, how's your baby? Introverts don't act like that.
I'm talking to them one on one.
You and I must see different things. I'm gonna have to record it and send you a video of it because they surround her. Oh my God, it's Toni Shiloh. Hey, Toni Shiloh husband, and then he just off and running.
But
It's a beautiful thing to see.
but when I have conversations, it's one on one. Like
they were waiting in line to talk to her too. Yeah,
they know not to overwhelm me.
Because you are the Pope, okay?
Right? Because she's the Pope. You know what I mean?
No.
Only thing they not do is kiss
She
the
was
ring.
like, they know better than to crowd my space. So I love the people, but not too close.
Yeah.
That's what I want.
Me and the boys like, come on, mommy. All right, let's wrap it up. It's the last person. Let's go. Oh my gosh.
That is so funny.
Mhm.
Okay. Yeah, so Toni, I hope to see you. I think I'm gonna go be in Ink and Indy. I think you're gonna be there as well.
Yeah.
Okay.
Definitely.
I look forward to seeing you in person and I can then report back, Shiloh, on if I'm seeing what you're seeing here on this.
Now that I done pulled your cord to it, hey, watch.
No, but she knows Brianna, and Brianna is the extrovert.
Oh, no doubt. No doubt. I get that. But you're not as introvert as you try to be. Claim to be. I'm sorry.
You poured so much of yourself into him, Toni. He now knows you better than you know yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what he's saying. All right, well, thank y'all so much for this interview. I've had an absolutely fabulous time. It's been really great getting to know you both, and thank you so much for sharing your story.
Thank you for having us.
Yes, thank you.
Love Origins is produced by Candace Spencer, with music by Anthony Spencer of Noisy Dreads, LLC.